complete strangers one dark night. Whose silly idea was this anyway? Grant grumbled under his breath, rubbing his palms together for warmth. His breath came out in frosty puffs as he surveyed the remote, rundown cabin he and 7 other unsuspecting college sophomores were now stranded at for the night. Earlier that evening, Grant yawned, exhausted from the long hike through the dense forest preserve. He had only tagged along on this wilderness expedition because his roommates swore there'd be free beer and cute girls, yet here Grant stood with 7 other disgruntled guys, abandoned by their adventure club president Jason, who had driven off in the last van, claiming he needed to pick someone up. "This blows," muttered Aaron, kicking a loose rock off the cabin's creaky front porch as the other guys shuffled in, glancing around warily. No cell signal, no beer, no nothing inside. Dusty furniture and faded plaid curtains harkened back to decades past. Cobwebs clung in the corners and something smelled funky, like moldy socks. "Hello," called Diego, rapping his knuckles on the wall as he ventured deeper inside. "Anyone here?" Trent echoed behind him. "Guys, take a look at this." Eddie waved the group over to a note he'd picked up from the debris-strewn kitchen counter. Squinting, Grant read the cryptic scrawl. "Gone to get supplies. Make yourselves at home. Back before midnight, Jason. He expects us to stay here all night," sputtered Connor. The tall redhead's freckles stood out against his pale skin. "I guess so," Eddie replied. "But he said he'd be back." Kyle snorted. "Yeah, right. Just like he was gonna bring girls and beer. Face it, dudes, we got duped." The cocky former high school quarterback kicked open a bedroom door, sending a plume of dust into the air. "I'm not freezing my nuts off in this dump all night." "Then I suggest we start a fire," said Vic, the studious physics major, pushing his glasses up his nose, "and find whatever food we can." The 8 relative strangers glanced at each other in leery silence. Nightfall. By 9 p.m. the February night had closed in fast and cold around the remote cabin. Grant's stomach rumbled as he held his hands out toward the modest fire they'd managed to start in the soot-lined fireplace, using tinder and logs from the small shed out back. At least they'd discovered some canned chili, beer and vodka stashed here, apparently for events just like this. Grant tried not to wonder about the sequence of past guests as he wolfed down cold chili. All he cared was that he could douse the bland taste with a beer chaser from the cooler. "Well, this could be worse," said Connor, attempting to lighten the mood from an oversized armchair covered in mysterious stains. "HMPH. Says you," retorted Trent through a mouthful of chili. "I'd rather eat yesterday's mystery meatloaf from the campus cafeteria than this." "Hey, it's protein, so quit complaining," barked Kyle. He turned up the portable speaker someone had found, blasting aggressive heavy metal. As the night wore on, they'd all wandered through the cabin out of equal parts curiosity and boredom. The unsigned note still bugged Grant. And why weren't any of their friends worried about them by now? Diego lined up a row of vodka shots along the coffee table made from a thick slice of tree trunk. "Drink up, boys. Who knows how long we'll be out here?" Grant gladly took the excuse to dull his growing unease as the alcohol flowed. The guys swapped stories and bantered. Vic astonished them all by revealing he'd hacked the Pentagon's servers as a teen. Meanwhile, Aaron cranked up the music and tried teaching Eddie some dance moves, nearly crashing into the stone fireplace. Their raucous laughter echoed down the cabin's empty halls. Maybe this wouldn't be such a bad night after all, Grant considered, settling onto the lumpy couch next to Trent, away from campus and classes. They were just 8 guys making the best of an unplanned wilderness layover. Midnight shadows. A loud bang jolted Grant awake. He gasped, momentarily forgetting where he was, rubbing his eyes. Grant realized he'd dozed off, curled up on the sagging couch. The dusty room swirled for a moment as his vision adjusted to the dying firelight. What time was it anyway? Peering toward the dark windows, Grant thought he noticed an eerie blue glow outside, and ease prickled his spine. He strained to identify what had woken him so violently. Only the chirp of crickets filled the tense silence. "Guys," Grant hissed, "did you hear that loud noise?" Diego grunted incoherently from the armchair, lifting his head blearily. Meanwhile, Eddie remained curled up asleep on the floor, clutching an empty beer bottle. Heart pounding faster, Grant crept toward the back rooms. A shadow shifted in his periphery and Grant gasped, stumbling straight into warm flesh. "Oof, hey, it's just me." "Man," Trent held up both hands. Behind him, Vic and Connor peered out from the bathroom, their faces drawn. "Okay, this is mad freaky," Trent whispered, running a nervous hand through his mop of curls. "I swear something knocked over my guitar while I was taking it just now." "Impossible," stated Vic. We are the only beings present. Something slammed the bathroom door shut, making them all yelp as pure darkness enveloped them, fumbling with his phone light. Grant could barely make out wide eyes flashing around in surprise, then faint at first. A sinister chuckling echoed from somewhere down the pitch-black hallway. Grant froze, feeling Vic grip his shoulder hard with one clammy hand. The disembodied laughter increased until multiple voices cackled loudly right outside the bathroom. "We need to move now," yelled Connor, tripping over themselves. All four guys burst back into the living room. Blood pounded in Grant's ears as he whirled around in frantic bewilderment. "Guys, oh my God. Did you hear that too?" Eddie yelled. He brandished the saucepan, glancing wildly. Diego crossed himself, kneeling by the faded plaid couch. "Dios mío. What's out there? This place is seriously freaking cursed." An ear-splitting scream came from the back bedrooms. Kyle, terror surging. The group of 7 boys collided in a frenzied mass. Debate team and physics club members clinging alike to muscular athletes. "We gotta get the hell out of here," Aaron stammered, but it was too late. All light suddenly vanished from the cabin windows. The dusty floorboards rattled violently beneath their feet. Bulbs sparked and glass shattered as the chandelier crashed down, narrowly missing Diego. Then with an almighty groan like a dying beast, the front door slammed shut. A sinister voice unlike any Grant had ever heard rasped from every dark corner. "Welcome, friends, you will not be leaving now, nor ever again. We will all play nicely here together, won't we?"